This is Jennifer Fuller, Assistant Principal at Pascal High School, and this is your official presentation of the 2015-2016 handbook. This will be basically a summarization of the most important points of your handbook, so I invite you to press pause at the appropriate times to thoroughly read each slide, and I encourage you to also thoroughly read the actual handbook itself. The enclosed rules, regulations, and procedures are based on Fort Worth ISD policy, and it is the employee's responsibility to become familiar with the information. You should know that anything that's officially published to you from the school board, from secondary leadership, from Pascal High School leadership, is your responsibility to read and be familiar with. In addition, Fort Worth ISD and Pascal High School does not discriminate on the basis of age, race, religion, color, national origin, sex, sexual orientation, gender identity, or expression, or disability. This section is regarding employee attendance. It is the teacher's responsibility to arrive for duty at 8:15 each morning and leave no earlier than 3:45 in the afternoon. It's important that you plan your schedule appropriately. Oftentimes traffic is bad outside of Pascal High School, and if you arrive after 8:15, it is very likely that you will get caught in traffic and will not make the 8:15 deadline. We need you to be sure that you sign in to the front office when you arrive. You clear your mailbox of any important information, you read your email, and get set for the day. In case of an emergency, we will need you to contact your supervising assistant principal first and also notify your department chair. And if it's prior to 8:15 a.m., Carolyn Prather will need to be notified so that a substitute or another teacher can be arranged to cover classroom. In case of emergency that you need to leave during the school day, you must contact your assistant principal for approval. Moving forward, Carolyn Prather will not be the one who automatically puts substitutes or other teachers in classrooms if you have to leave during the day because of an emergency. Your assistant principal will approve that request and then notify Carolyn Prather that this is something that needs to happen. We ask you to schedule any yearly doctor's appointments and things that can be covered in your own personal time or personal days. We ask that you take care of that. And emergencies do come up during the year. We understand that. However, we will be looking to see if there's any patterns or trends in regard to this. We really need your help. So please make sure you work with your assistant principal if you need to leave for an emergency and keep those to a minimum. This section is in regard to teacher absences. It is your responsibility if you know that you are not going to be at school for the next day. This has to do with you having a scheduled professional development that's off campus, a personal day, or if you are sick. We ask that you not put this burden on Carolyn Prather. You must be the one that visits the Fort Worth ISD webpage and click on the important information links to report your absence. We also expect for all teachers to have a substitute folder marked in an easily accessible place for your substitutes. If you wish to request a personal business day, this must be done 2 days prior in writing, and that should be sent to Chris Cole, who will give it to Dr. Mossage for approval. It's important that you know that you must review all of Fort Worth ISD policy and know your attendance expectations. This section deals with student attendance. Student attendance is very important for you to be accurate with. All teachers are expected to report attendance using the focus system at the beginning of each period of the school day. Students must be present 90% of the time to gain credit. Our funding is attached to student attendance, and if students are not attending 90% of the time, court action against students and parents can be filed. So it is very important that you keep an accurate attendance record and that it is submitted in focus at the beginning of each period every single day. This section covers employee conduct. You should know that all employees are expected to conform to reasonable standards of performance and conduct. When an employee demonstrates an inability or failure to maintain these standards, the principal or immediate supervisor shall take necessary corrective action. I highly recommend that you read through each one of these beginning standards in regard to teacher conduct. It is important that you know each one and what your expectations are. If you have any questions, we invite you to see one of the assistant principals who will be happy to go over any and all of these standards with you. This section is in regard to ethics, specifically towards students. It is important, again, that each of these standards is thoroughly understood. So at this time, I do wish to read each of them and have you absorb them. Standard 3.1 indicates the educator shall not reveal confidential information concerning students unless disclosure serves lawful, professional purpose, or is required by law. Standard 3.2, the educator shall not intentionally, knowingly, or recklessly treat a student or minor in a manner that adversely affects or endangers the learning, physical health, mental health, or safety of the student or minor. Standard 3.3, the educator shall not intentionally, knowingly, or recklessly misrepresent facts regarding a student. Standard 3.4, the educator shall not exclude a student from participating in a program, deny benefits to a student, or grant an advantage to a student on the basis of race, color, gender, disability, national origin, religion, family status, or sexual orientation. Standard 3.5, the educator shall not intentionally, knowingly, or recklessly engage in physical mistreatment, neglect, or abuse of a student or minor. Standard 3.6, the educator shall not solicit or engage in sexual conduct or a romantic relationship with a student or minor. Standard 3.7, the educator shall not furnish alcohol or illegal unauthorized drugs to any person under 21. Standard 3.8, the educator shall maintain appropriate professional educator-student relationships and boundaries based on a reasonable, prudent educator standard. Standard 3.9, the educator shall refrain from inappropriate communication with a student or minor, including but not limited to electronic communication such as cell phone, text messaging, email, instant messaging, etc. The next section is faculty dress code, and what I would like to discuss in regard to dress code is the bottom line is we are all professionals and must represent ourselves as such. So all employees are required to wear their Pascal ID at all times for safety and security, and we don't want you coming to work with flip-flops or workout clothing or pajamas or other revealing clothing. We do want you to look professional and things such as slacks, polo shirts, blouses, etc. Blue jean days and spirit t-shirt days will be announced by one of the assistant principals, Chris Cole, or Dr. Mossage. Pascal High School does have a long tradition of academic excellence, and it is each teacher's responsibility to prepare quality, relevant, and engaging lessons for all students. Please see the presentation regarding the academic handbook for more on this topic. Passing periods this year will be 5 minutes long. Teachers are required to be at their door and usher students down the hallway into classrooms. We really need to implore with you that you are the first line of prevention for misbehavior, and you being at your doorways and having high expectations for hallway behavior is going to be critical to our success. Assistant principals will be monitoring designated hallways, and we will be looking to see that teachers are at the classroom doors. In addition, we will have a new tardy policy this year, and that will be given to you in a separate presentation. As you know, technology use is a huge initiative this year. Our theme is Take Flight, and we will be presenting at many times throughout the year how our Take Flight theme will be utilized in regard to technology. We will have specialists that will be available to serve you, and trainings will be scheduled and required. Permission to publicize. You should not release any information to the media at any point. Reporting suspected child abuse. This is very, very important. If you suspect child abuse, you must report it to CPS, the school counselor, and the principal within 48 hours. If this is not done, it can and will be a Class B misdemeanor. School nutritional laws are still in effect. We ask that you read your faculty handbook in regard to this information.